My name is Anderson Edgel, and we're taking a look back at ICTFEST 2011, 7 years in the making. Our guest this evening is Minister of Information, the Honorable Dr. Edmund Mansour, General Manager for Digicel, John Delves, and Marketing Manager, Troy Byrne. Good day, gentlemen. All right, Dr. Mansour, let's take a look back at ICTFEST 2011 and, of course, highlight some of the achievements, lining them up against the goals that we had for this year's event, which of course was designed to be bigger and better.
Well, the fest had three specific areas. Firstly, the interactive exhibition. The goal was to increase the number of exhibitors. We had in excess of 32 exhibitors this year, with at least 4 new companies, all of which reported great progress. And like the feel and look of the fest, the seminars were a resounding success. They were high-end, they were current, and of course this year we had, for the very first time, the development of a local application being done by Mr. Bevel Wooding. So that went extremely well, and of course the competitions. Those were just a huge success. We had hundreds of students, a lot of competition, a lot of anxiety. The ultimate goal obviously is achieved. That is to bridge the digital divide, to ensure that the ordinary man, the ordinary woman, the ordinary child can leverage on the empowerment potential of ICT. So this was year number 7. We're going to look forward to a much bigger and a grander and a more focused event in 2012.
All right. Mr. John Delves, Digicel has committed to sponsoring this event for the next few years. How does Digicel's vision tie into ICTFEST?
I think it fits in perfectly. This is year 2 of a 5-year sponsorship. When we were discussing it last year, we felt that there was a need for a real commitment to the event to ensure that it had got us standing shoulder to shoulder with the ICTFEST, to ensure longevity over the coming 5 years. For Digicel, it's very important. Technology is the cornerstone of our business. It's what makes Digicel tick, and we embrace new technology, and that's how we see our future going forward. We also purchased an ICT company in the last 12 months called Netsar. So that has brought Digicel from just being a communications provider to becoming a solutions provider, and that really opens up a whole new world for Digicel. So being the platinum sponsor of the ICTFEST really is even more important now for us, with us acquiring Netsar and having Netsar as part of our family. So not only have we sponsored the event, but we've actually put a huge investment into ICT, because we see this very much as the future for Digicel. We can provide now a complete range of solutions for any business across Antigua and Barbuda, working with the government as well on specific projects as we try to bring e-governance into the marketplace, and really trying to make solutions for companies and save money, make it more efficient. These are all the key things, whether it's communications or ICT, that's key. It's about making it accessible and affordable for everyone across Antigua and Barbuda. So we're delighted with what came out of the last few days. Troy is a little bit tired, as I am. It was very successful. We launched Digi Home and Digi Office, and unfortunately we were caught a little bit by surprise. We completely sold out of the product, so we've been on to our suppliers. We are getting, as we speak, stock air freighted in to cope with the unprecedented demand that we didn't expect, to be honest with you. We'll have stock in over the next few days to cope with that demand, so hopefully everyone out there appreciates your patience on that. We were caught a little bit off guard by the success of the product, and we will have it in stock over the next few days. So yes, congratulations to everyone involved this year, and we're very much looking forward to next year already, and are starting the planning process ourselves at Digicel.
All right, now we certainly understand Digicel's commitment to ICTFEST, and of course developing ICTs and seeing progress in Antigua and Barbuda, even as you mentioned, e-governance. But as it relates specifically to ICTFEST, where would you like to see this fest go in the next 5 years or so?
I think it's really the limits of our own imagination, how far we can bring the ICTFEST. I'm sure if you looked back 7 years ago at where it started, from speaking with the team here to what it's grown to nowadays, we probably wouldn't have expected the type of event we just pulled off. For me, the future is just getting better and better with the technologies that are coming in across the world. It's more the adoption of the technology is so much quicker nowadays. It literally, stuff that might have been taking 4 or 5 years to adopt is now happening in much smaller cycles. So the world is developing at an even faster pace. For the ICTFEST, that only means opportunity. It means going forward having more interactive exhibitions. It means really showcasing the technology, but not just technology in itself. It's about showing how this technology can better the lives of people in Antigua and Barbuda. And with Digicel, we feel bringing that technology to people is the key going forward. It's how Digicel launched in the Caribbean. We were all about making cell phones, making mobiles affordable and accessible to everyone, not just for the elite, not just for the rich, but for every single person in the country. And you can see that in Barbuda today and in Antigua. You know, every person now can afford a phone. We just had a $15 phone, which is still continuing. And what can you buy for $15 today? You can't even buy your lunch for $15, and that's how affordable and accessible Digicel has made it. So going forward with future technology, the internet, high-speed internet, broadband internet, that's what we want to do. We want to bring it and make it accessible for every man, woman and child. And similar to Antigua, I grew up on an island, and for me communication has been key, because what communication and the right infrastructure allows you to do is compete with anyone across the world. So with Digicel, we want to make sure we're improving the technology so that Antiguans and Barbudans can unleash their talent on the globe. And maybe we can get the next Steve Jobs here, the next Bill Gates.
Well said. Now, Troy Brown, your expertise is in marketing. What are your overall impressions of those 2 days of ICTFEST?
Oh man, I was really impressed. From where we came from 7 years ago, we've been actively involved over the past 5-6 years with ICTFEST, and it has evolved exponentially over the past couple of years. Here we are in 2011, where, when in comparison to previous years, the look and feel bigger, better, larger than life, where we had to do the tent outside to accommodate the students, because we saw the numbers grew exponentially this year in terms of the visitors, to see exactly the new technologies that were available. Digicel, our objective this year was to ensure that we had by world-class standard, that we had a booth and the technology available to sit within the theme of ICTFEST. We were able to do that, and we had a lot of interest in terms of the new product we launched, which was DigiHome and DigiOffice. So for us, it was very much a success. I was very impressed with a couple of the exhibitors. Very impressed with the team that actually executed ICTFEST. Kudos to these guys. They worked very hard, and Digicel working alongside the Ministry of Information. We were able to, what we call, to look at a very successful ICTFEST 2011. And I can only see this growing each year, because we've now committed over a 5-year period, and we want to ensure that it has the support it definitely deserves. Whereas Antiguans and Barbudans are now hearing and learning about the technologies. They're coming down to the ICTFEST. They want to see the next business solution, how it can improve their lives. That's the objective, and we were able to achieve this year.
All right, gentlemen, thanks for sitting down with us. And I'll leave the final words with you, Minister of Information.
Well, very simply, I think that the very fact that this interview is being aired on the internet is indicative that new media also has a role to play in information dissemination. So thank you very much.
All right. Well, that's a look back at ICT Fest 2011 with the movers and shakers in ICTs. I'm Anderson Edger. Thanks for watching.